tonight. Cautious relief as Israel and Hamas agree to a ceasefire and prisoner exchange.
The next 48 hours are crucial.
It's terrible. I can't believe it.
Plus, an angry reaction after trees and brush were vandalized with a chainsaw at Woodland Cemetery. And
what we're trying to acquire is 2 F-104 starfighters.
London's Jet Aircraft Museum chases down a pair of Mach 2 interceptors.
We don't think that the Canadian government will say, sure, a private owner can restore these and make them fly, but if we can, we will.
CTV News with Lauren Stallone.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with a major breakthrough in the Middle East. Today is about breathing a sigh of relief as Israel and Hamas have agreed to pause their devastating 2-year-long war. CTV's Heather Wright has more on the 20-point peace plan that led to this moment.
Standing on top of emergency vehicles, paramedics in Gaza City celebrate the first step toward peace. Honestly, these are indescribable feelings, this man says. We can't believe it. At Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, dancing and singing. Hope that finally the hostages will soon be home.
This is the joy that we are waiting for.
While many important details still need to be ironed out, the first phase of this truce will see all remaining Israeli hostages freed in exchange for hundreds of Palestinians being held in Israeli jails. Israeli forces will also withdraw to an agreed-upon line.
The next 48 hours are crucial. We urge the parties, particularly Hamas, to follow through, release all the hostages.
Many questions still remain, with the more contentious elements of a long-term deal yet to be agreed to, including Israeli demands that Hamas disarm and the complete withdrawal of Israeli troops from the enclave.
When they disarm, whether Israel withdraws sufficiently to send a signal to Hamas that they can disarm, those are the questions going forward.
In the meantime, Israel is preparing hospitals to receive the hostages once they are released after more than 730 days in captivity. Palestinians hopeful that once the bombing stops, they can begin to rebuild their lives. A daunting task with an estimated 2 million people displaced, according to the United Nations, and much of the enclave reduced to rubble.
What we need, of course, is humanitarian supplies. We need food, we need water, hygiene, tents, equipment for the winter to support people in this new phase of the response.
U.S. President Donald Trump says the 48 remaining hostages will be released on either Monday or Tuesday, 20 of whom are still believed to be alive. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
An incident this past weekend at Woodland Cemetery in West London has left both staff and visitors unsettled. It appears someone broke into the burial grounds and cut down trees with a chainsaw. CTV's Brian Bicknell has the story.
It's a place of peace and quiet reflection, but that peace was shattered by the buzz of a chainsaw when someone laid to waste healthy trees and shrubs growing amongst the gravestones at Woodland Cemetery.
First I've heard about this. That's terrible. It's terrible. I can't believe it. I mean, some stupid things happen here, which should never happen.
It's believed to have happened overnight Friday. Staff made the first discovery Saturday morning when they came upon this felled tree, which had all the signs of being cut with a chainsaw. Then Wednesday, the remains of this memorial tree were discovered when a partially cut trunk nearly fell on a man sitting under it. Woodland GM Kerry Blackwell says it's upsetting.
I just don't understand the thought process of this individual and why they would do something like this. This is such a peaceful place. People come here to remember their loved ones. So it's very concerning.
She says the cemetery has also had a number of thefts over the past year, including flowers and vases and other mementos.
It just disturbs me. Just disturbs me that someone would come in and do anything to a cemetery.
It's a respectful place.
The sprawling property is bordered by a chain link fence, and the main gates are closed at night by security. But staff are well aware that if somebody wants to get in here after hours, well, this place is not impenetrable. They have filed a report with police. In the meantime, they're hoping regular visitors will help them keep an eye out.
Maybe we'll call them the woodland watchers or something like that. But if anyone is interested in helping out, they can certainly contact us.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
A memorial bench in honor of a married couple brutally murdered 7 years ago has been stolen from a Wingham area park. Tonight, the couple's family is pleading for the bench to be returned. Scott Miller reports.
Gail Fisher noticed something amiss with her parents' memorial bench last week when she drove by the park it usually sat in and saw that it was missing.
I didn't want to believe that, right? I initially thought that it was just taken to be fixed or something, right? And then when I had called to find out, I found that it was stolen, and I was just shocked.
Fisher's parents, Doug and Marion Fisher, were murdered on March 29, 2018, inside their Wingham area home. Gail's ex-partner, Kevin Carter, pleaded guilty to killing them and was sentenced to life in prison in January of 2019. The Fisher family marked the 5-year anniversary of their parents' death with a memorial bench in the family's favorite park between Wingham and Bluevale.
We had wanted it to come to this park because I have fond memories coming here as a child. We'd go in to get takeout and come and eat at the park before we went home, and it was just a spot that we enjoyed.
Fisher says she noticed the bench missing about a week ago. She says another metal bench in the park has also gone missing. Now the Fisher family is holding out hope, as faint as it may be, that their memorial bench will be returned or found somehow. The police are now involved, and the Fishers are hoping that maybe those that took it grow a conscience and return it, because this wasn't just some scrap metal they took. This was a bench that meant something.
It was something a little positive that was there for us after everything that had happened.
Fisher says she used to visit the bench and posthumously talk to her parents about once a month. She holds out hope she'll get to sit with them in this park yet again.
I would love that, yes, and my family would love that.
Near Wingham, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Good evening. It was a beautiful day across southern Ontario. Lots of sunshine under the influence of high pressure. Temperatures are holding, but we will start to dip in the next hour. Temperature-wise, 12 to 13 degrees in Midwestern Ontario today, and in London, about 14. So heading over the next hour or so, skies will be clear, although the temperature is expected to cool off. So if you are heading out for a walk after the show, you'll definitely need a light jacket, perhaps a warm jacket as well. High pressure over the Great Lakes will hold as we head through tomorrow. A mix of sun and cloud, but by Friday evening, the chance for showers. We'll be at about 4 degrees at midnight with a light easterly wind and a frost advisory once again in effect. We had frosty conditions this morning, a repeat heading into tomorrow morning as well. So if you have any tender plants, you'll want to cover those up. Coming up, I'll take you through your holiday weekend forecast. We do have some unsettled conditions to start. We'll talk about an area of low pressure that could bring a few spotty showers to the region. And we'll look ahead at the next 7. All of that coming up in just a few minutes. Lauren?
Thanks, Julie. Michael McLeod, one of 5 members on Canada's 2018 junior team, recently acquitted of sexual assault charges, has signed a 3-year contract with Avangard Omsk of the Russian-based Continental Hockey League. Omsk confirmed the signing in a post on the social media platform X. McLeod was one of 5 players charged with 1 count of sexual assault stemming from an encounter with a woman after a 2018 gala celebrating the Canadian World Juniors team's gold medal. McLeod was also charged with 1 count of being a party to the offense. The 5 players were acquitted July 24th. Testifying in his own defense, the accused charged with dangerous driving causing the death told the court he wasn't the person driving on the day of the crash, instead pointing the finger at his brother. CTV's Nick Paparella has more from the London courthouse.
31-year-old Baha Ali told the court that he wasn't behind the wheel of his black Mercedes-Benz when it crashed into a Hyundai Sonata at Southdale and White Oak Roads on November 3rd of 2020. 68-year-old Joan Clubb, a passenger in the Sonata, would end up dying after being rushed to hospital. Ali testified that he was headed for breakfast that morning when he got a call from his younger brother, Muhannad, saying, "I got a phone call from my brother. He said I crashed. Ali said he raced to the scene and got there before police and emergency crews. "I was shocked. I saw him and he couldn't even speak. Then, when approached by officers who showed up, I told police I was driving. It was a split-second decision. I wanted to help my brother. I've always taken care of him." Ali said his brother told him that the female driver of the Sonata cut in front of him and that he was not speeding. He added, "I wanted to put the blame on her so I could get paid for the car." However, during the trial, forensic evidence has shown that the Benz was traveling at speeds of up to 129 kilometers an hour in a 60 zone. Ali would eventually be charged with dangerous driving causing death. He has pled not guilty. Later, during cross-examination, the Crown brought up Ali's criminal record, which included assault causing bodily harm. Suggesting that he wasn't being truthful about who was behind the wheel, Ali responded, "No, I was not driving." His testimony under cross-examination resumes on Friday. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
A student in St. Thomas has been charged after police say the child brought a replica gun to school. According to police, the accused went to a high school Monday, showed a classmate a gun, and made a threat to another student. Police were called and determined that the weapon was a pellet gun. No injuries were reported. A charity that provides free bicycles to those in need may be heading in another direction. The organizers of the Big Bike Giveaway say the next 3 months will determine their fate. Jerry Dewan has more.
Bikes sit under tarps in a Carling neighborhood backyard waiting for a new home. Many of these refurbished bikes will become Christmas presents, most through the Salvation Army's hamper program.
I don't need to have someone telling, "Oh, the big bike did this." I just want someone to take that bike and give that to the kid. And that's more than enough for us.
Just over 12 years ago, Shane and Monica Hodgson launched the Big Bike Giveaway from their Wortley Village home. Interest exploded with long lines of people hoping to get a bike. The giveaway shifted to Argyle Arena, where at its peak more than 700 bikes were given away. The challenge has always been finding a space where bikes could be stored and repaired. Since 2021, developer Shmuel Fari provided space at no cost, but Hodgson says that space is no longer available.
Times are hard for everybody, and building owners are having the same. We have to thank Fari for all the years he gave to us. There's no animosity, no anger. It's business. That's what things have to change sometimes.
Bikes currently sit in the Hodgson's yard and in the yard of a friend, but that can't continue through the winter. Winter is when Hodgson readies bikes for the summer giveaway.
By after December, if we don't have something, then we're going to start figuring what we're going to be doing for the summer. And it probably won't be a giveaway. It'll be something different, you know.
The Hodgsons rely on donations to get parts for the bikes, but say that funding isn't enough to lease space, and they can't afford to absorb that cost. Shane is passionate about fitness and the overall benefits of cycling and wants to share that with others, especially kids. He says that will continue, but they may need to approach it in a different way.
If it goes on more, then that's awesome. If it doesn't, then we'll, like I said, we'll pivot and shift and figure what Big Bike will do next. And it's not going to be ever gone. It just won't be the same.
Hodgson says the giveaway has also helped divert bikes from the landfill, and the bikes also help people on limited incomes get to work or to training programs. He wants to continue that work in some way. Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
London's Jet Aircraft Museum has found a way to bring home a key piece of Canadian aviation history. The facility, located at London International Airport, is fundraising to acquire 2 CF-104 starfighters. CTV's Sean Irvin reports.
As a jet aircraft trainer and its pilots prepares to take to the skies over London, these 2 men are working to bring a vintage fighter plane home. They are among the many volunteers of the Jet Aircraft Museum. The facility, opened in 2009, is home to multiple flying and static vintage aircraft. They include a rare Second World War Japanese rocket plane and other vintage aircraft from around the world. However, this museum's primary goal remains the entire available collection of RCAF jet aircraft. Long missing has been the Canadian-built Starfighter.
So what we're trying to acquire is 2 F-104 Starfighters. They're currently in another country.
That country is Greece. Unlike most other nations that purchase starfighters, Greece never dismantled them or sold them for scrap. Now the nation is prepared to sell 2 to Canada. But as you might expect, getting this project off the ground is going to take cash. A fundraising campaign is now underway. The museum hopes the public and potentially the federal government will help.
We believe about $60,000 Canadian will take them apart, put them in containers in Greece, ship them to the port.
Then once they get here, then that's when we start working on them. So it could be a couple years before we start seeing them out on the static display.
It is unlikely the pair will ever soar into the skies again, but as this is a flying museum, the potential for takeoff is never ruled out.
We don't think, being as these aircraft would do over Mach 2, that the Canadian government will say, sure, a private owner can restore these and make them fly. But if we can, we will.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Another headliner for next year's Rock the Park has been announced. Canadian rockers 3 Days Grace will play Harris Park Saturday, July 18th. The band will be joined by I Prevail from Detroit, along with other acts still to be announced. Tickets are now on sale. Coming up, the focus on trade negotiations shifts to auto industry following comments during the Prime Minister's trip to Washington. Plus, raised in America but born in Canada, an American citizen struggles to get back across the border.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvlondon.ca, your home for news.
It is still unclear what Mark Carney accomplished on his Tuesday trip to Washington, although the U.S. Secretary of Commerce dismissed any prospect of an auto deal between the U.S. and Canada. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more.
A day after the American Commerce Secretary said Canada must come second to the U.S. in the auto sector, Canadian lawmakers and car makers insist the industry isn't in danger.
They don't ask, is it Canadian or American? They said, can we ship it by Tuesday?
At a Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Canadian automotive groups tried to calm the waters. The head of the Canadian Vehicle Manufacturers Association says Howard Lutnick's comments are just posturing.
We know that we need each other. We have an integrated supply chain. Canada is the most important market for the U.S. auto manufacturing sector. So we should expect these ups and downs through the next few weeks.
The U.S. currently has a 25% tariff on Canadian-made cars, with a carve-out for the U.S. elements in those vehicles. However, the Canadian auto parts industry says their American counterparts are lobbying the White House.
Those Canadian assembly plants buy $25 billion worth of parts from our factories every year, and you're hurting us.
The Ford Motor Company reported that tariffs will cost it about $2 billion U.S. this year. General Motors lost $1.1 billion in the second quarter. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says the Prime Minister isn't standing up for the industry.
He's accepting second place for Canadian auto workers and continuing tariffs on our finished products.
The federal finance minister disagrees, saying the Carney government is fighting for the auto sector and its workers.
I see ourselves, when I say that, Canada and the U.S. more as complementary than in real competition.
That argument is likely being made by the Minister of Canada-U.S. Trade, Dominic LeBlanc, who remains in Washington to continue talks with his American counterparts. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Liberals unveiled a new industrial strategy today with the goal of saving jobs, creating new ones, and attracting global talent and investment. Industry Minister Melanie Joly laid out the plan to business leaders in Toronto today. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports.
Today, Industry Minister Melanie Joly said the federal government has a vision to bring Canada into a new industrial era. It's a three-pronged strategy: protect tariff sectors, create new jobs, and draw in global investment and talent by building up key Canadian industries.
We know that we can build the best ships, the best planes, the best drones, and have very strong supply chains across the country. We can have researchers, engineers, and welders at work. We will use the power of procurement to create jobs. Because ultimately what I've learned is companies rather have contracts than subsidies from the government.
Detailing how she and Prime Minister Mark Carney plan to make this happen, Joly said Ottawa will leverage the new Buy Canadian edict to source domestic goods such as lumber and steel for future home building and defense contracts. And approving major projects will fuel growth in the critical mineral and energy sectors. Though experts are already cautioning strategies like this can go sideways quickly, and the key challenge will be how it's executed. The minister, tapping into her time as Canada's top diplomat, also said she wants to see Canadian companies become bigger, not only to solidify Canada's sovereignty, but to increase this country's soft power and influence abroad. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
A man in New Brunswick is stuck in border limbo, unable to prove he's an American citizen and blocked from returning home to Georgia. He says he is a U.S. citizen born in Canada and adopted by American parents. But American border officials are not convinced. CTV's Sarah Plowman has more.
Terrence McBride is stuck in St. John and drained like his bank account. Trouble that started after he pulled up to the U.S. border in Calais, Maine in April, trying to head home to Georgia.
I pulled in. Here, this is who I am. Are you an American citizen? Yes, I am. Where's your documents?
He says he was detained for a day and a half. The 63-year-old was born in Canada but adopted by American parents as a baby. He says he's American but has a Canadian passport. The adoption records and documents he brought to the border weren't enough.
I spent my whole life assuming I'm American. A couple of times I've crossed the border and they've said, hey, just so you know, you might need some stuff the next time you, but no big deal. Suddenly it's a big deal.
McBride says officials told him not to try to cross into the U.S. again until he gets a U.S. passport or his citizenship number. As he tried to make calls to dig up the files needed, he had a heart attack.
I thought I was dying. I just thought it was stress. I laid there for 2 days on the bathroom floor.
For nearly 6 months, he's lived in hotels, his truck, and now this rooming house. He's had to give up his dog, is without work. He's fundraising to hire a U.S. immigration lawyer to help.
I want to go home. They're the people that make me feel valued enough, loved, appreciated, thought of. I want to go there because I don't have that. I don't have that here.
Kelly Ortega is a U.S. immigration lawyer. While McBride is not her client, she suggests he could file a Freedom of Information Act request to get what he needs.
While he may very well have either green card status or even American citizen status, it's his responsibility to bear that evidence when he seeks entry.
All of it takes time and money.
It's just chiseling away at my heart, and my heart's breaking.
We reached out to U.S. Customs and Border Protection for a comment, but did not receive one before our deadline. Sarah Plowman, CTV News, Fredericton.
Julie Atchison joins me now. Julie, the long weekend is almost upon us. What are your plans for the weekend?
I'm going to cook a big turkey. I'm going to head to Apple Land, do all the things. I got to get some pumpkins. How about you?
Of course. Well, my family's really into football.
Okay.
So we head right outside and we play football basically all weekend long, it feels like.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well, the best day to be outside this weekend will be Sunday into Monday. We do have the chance for showers. The forecast playing some games today in terms of bringing a little area of low pressure in and some moisture temperature to the south. I'm not loving that forecast model. Things looking a bit tricky. 14 degrees our high today. Last night we dropped down near the freezing mark, so 16 and 5 is what's normal. So for the first time in a while, we're below normal. Satellite radar showing our area of high pressure that's over the Great Lakes Basin. That will be sliding east overnight, and it will be breaking down. It's not strong and it doesn't have a lot of upper air support, which means low pressure that you're looking at to the northwest will be able to invade as we head into Friday night. Satellite radar, though, tonight, right now, in the clear, and we'll see just a few clouds pushing in overnight. It looks more autumn-like across Canada. Look at the temperatures. So Western Canada is cool, not quite as warm across the southeastern prairies tonight. Northwestern Ontario, still nice. And as we head to the Maritimes, temperatures have dropped off. We have some warm air that's bottled up across the American Midwest and down towards the southern plains. Next 48 hours, so it's going to be nice to start your Friday, a mix of sun and cloud, but by Friday afternoon, we'll start to see a bit of cloud cover come in with the chance of showers Friday evening and Friday night. So you can see the rainfall. The coverage is not widespread. However, could put a little damper on your outdoor evening plans. And if you are heading out, just grab your umbrella because you could get caught in a stray shower. Heading into Saturday morning, watch the forecast model showing a little bit more in the way of rainfall once again pushing through. Now with a forecast like this, it's not an all-day rain. There'll be a few showers around, but you can go ahead with your outdoor plans. You just might get caught with a little bit of rainfall. So not a washout by any means, but just more unsettled now. As we head toward the weekend, we have a front that will come through, and that will keep us in more of a cloudy pattern as we head through the weekend. Overnight in London at the freezing mark, a frost advisory in effect through Sarnia, Lambton, Chatham, Kent, Elgin, and stretching towards Brandon in and around the Golden Horseshoe. Temperature-wise, 0. 5 degrees along the lakeshore, and of course this time of year inland temperatures near the freezing mark, but if you're near Lake Huron and Lake Erie, the temperatures around 4 to 5 degrees. Your Friday forecast, a mix of sun and cloud, light easterly wind, and the high coming in at 17 degrees. A 60% chance of rain on Friday night, and then a 40% chance of rain on Saturday. Not all day. You can see that shower move through. Heading into Sunday, still some cloud cover hanging around at 17, although the probability drops down to about a 30% chance. Mix of sun and cloud for Monday, 19 degrees, beautiful conditions for some outdoor football, Lauren. Mix of sun and cloud Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We'll see a bit of a temperature dip Wednesday, but we're back up to 17 on Thursday. My friends in Midwestern Ontario, evening showers for you. They will come in a little bit earlier in the day, especially toward the Bruce Peninsula, and then the chance for some light rainfall heading into Friday night. Then on Saturday, still some light rainfall around. It looks like you'll see a bit more in the way of measurable showers, but it'll depend on where that low pressure system sets up. So right now, forecast models are indicating 2 different scenarios in terms of Lake Michigan or Lake Huron. So one forecast model has it coming north over Lake Huron, and that would put us in more of a showery pattern. Mainly cloudy Sunday into Monday, daytime highs anywhere from 17 to 18 degrees, and looking nice early next week, back into a mix of sun and cloud. So Lauren, forecast for the weekend, not picture perfect, but not a wash. So we'll take temperatures into the upper teens and get some peaks of sunshine in there.
Thanks for that, Julie. When CTV News returns, the story of a woman facing thousands of dollars interest on an interest-free loan. A senior official at the Bank of Canada is calling for more competition in the country's banking sector. Senior Deputy Governor Carolyn Rogers shared her thoughts in a speech at the Canadian Club this morning. She said it's more urgent than ever that Canada's economy become more productive as it faces down the impacts of the trade war with the U.S. In the banking sector, she said Canada's so-called Big Six banks had offered stability to the financial sector, but also meant they were less likely to take major risks or to compete. She argued that allowing new entrants into the financial sector and fostering more competition would drive down prices for Canadians while boosting the economy. The Federal Court of Appeal heard arguments Wednesday from Cineplex as the company defends its use of online booking fee. Back in 2023, the Competition Bureau said the movie theater chain was engaging in illegal drip pricing by charging some customers up to $1.50 to secure their tickets online. Last year, the Competition Tribunal agreed and imposed a record penalty of nearly $39 million against Cineplex. Lawyers for Cineplex repeated claims that the fee is properly disclosed and can be avoided by buying movie tickets in person. This comes as Cineplex says box office revenue for its third quarter was just shy of $160 million, down from about $175 million last year. If you're making a large purchase, buying a furnace, appliances, or even some furniture, you might be offered a deferred payment plan. They can allow you to pay 0% interest over the course of a loan. But if you don't pay it off by a certain date, you can be hit with major interest charges. CTV's Pat Foran has more.
Which was don't pay for 1 year, no interest. So I thought, great, got it.
Nina Stanchevsky of Bradford saw an advertisement for a water softener and decided to get one for her home. The purchase price was $6,500, and last August she agreed to a deferred 0% interest loan for 12 months.
In August, I had my last payment in my head due of $804.99, I believe, and I didn't get a statement.
Stanchevsky says she found out the final payment was due on August 15th, but she made the payment a week late on August 22nd. Because she missed the deadline, she was charged more than $3,000 in interest.
I didn't get the final statement, so I didn't know when it was due.
Stanchevsky took out the loan with Fertility, a company that offers financing and payment plans for many different stores and services. When she complained, she was offered a discount of $900, which she declined, claiming she wasn't properly notified of her final due date.
I would like just for it to be forgiven. I mean, there's got to be some kind of grace period. There's got to be something. I paid it on the 22nd.
CTV News reached out to Fertility but did not get a response. But on the company's website, it does say, with deferred plans, the balance must be paid in full before the end of the term to avoid accrued interest being charged to your account.
They can be effective if the consumer is disciplined and can actually pay them off on time.
Retail analyst Bruce Winder says anyone using deferred payment plans must keep track of them carefully and pay them off before their due date to avoid interest charges.
If you're going to enter one of these plans, make sure that you have a very disciplined process at home where you pay on time, because, you don't want to be looking at, 30% plus interest rate on anything.
Stanchevsky feels she shouldn't have to pay $3,000 in interest for being 1 week late.
I'm not paying this, so write it off now, write it off later. In the end, not paying it.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
North American stock markets gave up ground today. In Toronto, the TSX lost 232 points, and in New York, the Dow fell 243, and the Nasdaq dropped 19. The Canadian dollar lost a quarter cent today, and on commodity markets, gold was down almost $98 an ounce, and oil lost more than $1 a barrel. Later on CTV News, the London Health Sciences Centre launches a clinical trial changing the way kidney cancer is treated.
5K a day is back on 97.5 Virgin Radio. Listen to Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben for your chance to win $5,000
every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
Some homeless Londoners could have a warm place to sleep and a roof over their heads this winter. A council committee has endorsed a plan for a micro-modular shelter site in southeast London. CTV's Brian Bicknell reports.
At least 60 people could be off London streets and living in tiny homes like this by the end of the year.
I don't actually care that it's a difficult decision. We have to deal with difficult decisions all the time at this council. And the difficult decision for other people is trying to find a place to sleep at night through the winter.
Council's Community and Protective Services Committee has endorsed Mayor Josh Morgan's proposal for a micro-modular shelter on this land at 1710 Wilton Grove Road in southeast London. It will be home to 60 heated shelter units, along with a central trailer with washroom and laundry facilities. Some councillors unhappy with what they say is a rush timeline and no alternatives.
That we were told this is the one, and I'm troubled by that. I would like, as a council committee, to be able to look at some alternatives and not just be given one.
We need this.
But what I don't like is the process and how this was pushed through quickly. I appreciate the mayor not using his special mayor powers to shove this through, so we are having this conversation. I just wish it happened a month ago.
The alternate to this is that people continue to be sheltered in doorways and alleys and parking lots and neighborhood parks.
The shelter site plan is approved for up to 2 years. The cost is projected at $7 million to come from the Contingency Reserve Fund. Mayor Josh Morgan used his strong mayor powers to push the plan through, but has opted to put final approval to a council vote. The motion goes to the full council next Tuesday.
We talk about, is this make a noticeable difference? I don't know. Maybe it'll help in the downtown core. Maybe it'll help in Old East Village. Maybe it'll help in our parks or doorways. But it absolutely will help for the people who are going to be in these spaces.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Global Affairs Canada is calling for the release of 6 Canadians who were detained by Israel after trying to deliver aid to Gaza.
We are the 6 Canadian citizens aboard the Conscience. If you are seeing this video, we've been attacked at sea and abducted by the Israeli forces.
The activists were on board a flotilla that was intercepted by Israeli forces yesterday morning, a little over 200 kilometers off the coast of Gaza. They were carrying food and medical supplies to the war-torn region. 2 of the activists are from Toronto, 1 is a doctor from Montreal, and 3 others are from Newfoundland and Labrador.
We are counting down to the Thanksgiving long weekend, and perhaps you need some ideas to make some plans with friends or family. We're joined by KP on mornings 97.5 Virgin Radio. KP, tell us, what have you got cooking up for us this weekend other than turkey?
Other than turkey. I'm wondering if I can bring a funnel cake to my Thanksgiving dinner as a dessert. Can I do that? Because the Dorchester Fall Fair, that's happening. It's the last fair of the season, so definitely go and check this out at the Dorchester Fairgrounds. It runs all long weekend long, and you can definitely get some funnel cakes or maybe some favors even. A candy apple?
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
I love that idea. A funnel cake for dessert. Okay. We have back-to-back London Knights games to check out as well.
We've got the Erie Otters Friday, so puck drops for that at 7 o'clock at Canada Life Place. And then, of course, we've got Saturday's game also at Canada Life Place taking on the Sarnia Sting, and that's at 7 o'clock as well.
And there are a couple of markets to check out this weekend, one at the Covent Garden Market, downtown London.
Yeah, so this is vintage on the block. Think second-hand, but giving everything a second home and a second life, which is so important. Be aware and conscious of where we're consuming our goods, right? So this is really cool. If you love vintage, they've got a ton of really unique clothes and really, really cool finds there. So go and check that out. And again, admission is free.
All right, Centennial Hall, there's also a market this weekend.
It's the Cozy Coven Market. So this is happening on Saturday. And again, a big fall market. They're going to have photo booths and swag bags and raffles and a ton of really cool stuff, including shopping and maybe even some treats for the Thanksgiving dinner if you don't want to bring the funnel cake.
Okay. As we head through the weekend, there's a great event opening up at Storybook Gardens, and this will get you into the Halloween spirit.
Oh, I need to go to this. It's Pumpkins After Dark. So this year at Storybook, they have a 1-kilometer pathway of over 10,000 carved and lit up jack-o'-lanterns. These are insanely cool. They're so intricate and each one is different. So you can go bring the kids. They have different nights too. So some are like superhero nights, some are bring your dog nights, and a lot of really cool themes as well. So you can check out their calendar on their website and grab those tickets for Pumpkins After Dark.
All right. And as we wrap up the weekend on Holiday Monday, there's an event at Fanshawe Pioneer Village.
Yes, it's the luncheon, Thanksgiving luncheon. It's really yummy looking. Like I want to go and check this out. So it's
anytime
style.
You're having turkey,
I know,
gravy, mashed
right?
potatoes.
And I feel like that backdrop at Fanshawe Pioneer Village will be so beautiful with the changing leaves and the beautiful sunshine. So that's happening. You can grab your tickets online or in person. And again, this is going to be a huge buffet feast. So you can bring the kids, they're welcome to, and that's happening at Fanshawe Pioneer Village.
All right, well, that sounds like a jam-packed weekend full of fun. However you're spending this weekend with friends, family, acquaintances, enjoy your holiday weekend, and we'll see you next time on the London List. Our photograph of the day coming to us from Exeter. Thank you to Darlene Porter for this gorgeous sunset. Fire in the sky, clear overnight and frosty conditions. Unsettled heading into the holiday weekend with a chance of rain Friday night into Saturday. The best day over the weekend will be holiday Monday with lots of sunshine in the forecast.
London Health Sciences is looking to recruit patients to participate in a trial using a unique way to treat kidney cancer. As Pauline Chan tells us, it's already proven successful in treating other forms of cancer.
Currently, the standard therapy if kidney cancer hasn't spread is surgery. So either taking the whole kidney out or just the tumor and leaving just a portion of the kidney itself.
Dr. Derek Kuhl says kidney cancer can affect younger patients with a genetic predisposition to it, but generally patients are older, and it's been associated with things like diabetes, obesity, and high blood pressure.
So it's one of the few cancers where we're actually seeing an overall rise over time in our population.
Kuhl has been trying a new minimally invasive way to treat kidney cancer.
It's called Y90 radioembolization. Fancy term for basically, we have these tiny beads. In fact, I can show a little vial here. They're tiny little glass spheres.
A catheter is inserted through the patient's groin.
We navigate that all the way up under X-ray until we get to the arteries supplying the kidney.
A water solution is pumped into the tubing, carrying the radioactive beads.
So then they travel along this catheter all the way through into the patient and then get delivered out the end of our catheter.
Directly to the tumor.
So the radiation will be slowly given over the course of about 2 to 3 weeks before it's really essentially bland. We have a lot of experience using this technology for treating liver cancers for about the last 20 years, and it's been really effective with very, very few in the way of side effects.
So far, Kuhl has done the procedure on 3 patients, and they're hoping to do a total of 16 as part of their trial. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Positive tests and outbreaks linked to COVID-19 are increasing across Canada, according to the federal government's latest data. It comes as COVID vaccination campaigns are rolling out, but for the first time, it will come at a cost for many people. The latest respiratory virus surveillance report found 11.4% of COVID-19 tests were positive as of late September, versus figures of less than 1% for influenza and RSV. Out of all lab-confirmed respiratory virus outbreaks in recent weeks, a full 97% were connected to COVID. The latest respiratory virus surveillance report found 11.4% of COVID-19 tests were positive as of late September, versus figures of less than 1% for influenza and RSV. Out of all lab-confirmed respiratory virus outbreaks in recent weeks, a full 97% were connected to COVID. Hospitalizations for respiratory viruses in general are also trending upwards. This comes as Ontario ramps up its fall vaccine rollout. High-risk and priority groups can already get COVID shots and flu shots where available. The general public can access them as of October 27th. The province is planning to spend $250 million to expand access to fertility treatments. The Ministry of Health says the cash injection will go towards funding 25 clinics, including 6 additional IVF clinics. Health Minister Sylvia Jones says the government's goal is to help Ontarians start and grow their families by shortening wait times. She says the investments will help triple the number of families benefiting from publicly funded fertility supports. This comes after Statistics Canada recently reported the country's total fertility rate hit a new low last year of 1.25 children per woman.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
The Blue Jays have punched their ticket to the ALCS after taking down the Yankees in Game 4. There was fear after Game 3, but our Jays managed a decisive win in Yankee territory, no less. And Toronto fans are thrilled.
Bedazzled in blue, Jays fans are embracing every moment of Toronto's postseason push.
It's great for the city, it's great for the economy, and it pulls the country together.
For the first time since 2016, the Jays are heading back to the American League Championship Series.
It's the team of destiny. I'm inspired.
I have been a fan since day one. I was 93. I was here when we won the World Series, so this is very exciting for me.
Start spreading the news.
In the Bronx, the teams popped bottles of champagne after eliminating the New York Yankees from the postseason. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
The Yankee lose.
taunted, tortured Yankees fans Wednesday night.
I'd like to show you one of my prized possessions.
Watching it all unfold from her home was 88-year-old Joyce Zweig.
Well, I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
Zweig and her family have been to every Jays home opener since the inaugural one at Exhibition Stadium back in 1977.
I did not believe that we really were going to have a major league team in Toronto. It was a terrible day. It was cold, it was snowy.
Even as a lifelong fan, though, Zweig wasn't able to snag a seat for the upcoming ALCS home games. And she isn't the only one struggling to access tickets.
50,000th in line, have a couple windows open for Game 7, Game 1. And thankfully, I scored one ticket for Game 7, like right up high.
The Jays still don't know if they'll face the Detroit Tigers or Seattle Mariners in the next round. But inside the Jays shop, fans buying merchandise have high expectations.
Add it to the collection, collect them as we go. And the next one will be a World Series one, hopefully.
As the Jays are 4 wins away from appearing in the World Series. Raheem Ladani, CTV News.
That's our time tonight. Thank you for joining us. For your latest local updates, you can always head to our website. Our next newscast is tonight after football. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.